Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the second broadcast of Ridgeback Football Weekly. I'm your host, Mitch Slapnuts, and today we'll be looking at the Ridgebacks games against North Carolina last week, everything that's happened this week with recruiting, words from Coach Darnell, and finally the Ridgeback matchup this Saturday. Last Saturday night in Week 0, the Mount Airy Ridgebacks traveled to Chapel Hill to take on the North Carolina Tar Heels in the Summit Showdown. The Ridgebacks came up short, falling 10-17 to the Tar Heels. The offense struggled to move the ball efficiently, while the defense struggled to make stops on third down. Teddy Voss went 5 of 6 for 94 yards, while also being sacked 3 times. Paul Withers had 9 rushes for 72 yards, and the first Ridgeback touchdown in 68 years, as well as 1 catch for 6 yards. Luther Newman had 11 rushes for 28 yards and 1 catch for 6 yards. Isaac Galloway had 4 rushes for 4 yards. Through the air, Benny Darnell had 1 catch for 56 yards, and Earl Hannon had 1 catch for 29 yards. Defensively, Gene Hayward and Chris Skies had 1 sack each. Archibald Turner, Otis Miller, and Elijah Lockridge all had 5 tackles each. No turnovers were forced. Recruiting for the Ridgebacks hasn't been eventful, but there's been rumors that some of the recruits they've been looking at have them as their top school. After the heartbreaking 17-10 loss to North Carolina, Coach Jimmy Darnell didn't take it well. Not because they lost, he expected that, but because they almost won. And that's the kind of thing that keeps a man up at night. Or in Darnell's case, in the local Mount Airy Moose Lodge at 1 a.m., shirtless, wearing only his headset and a bathrobe, yelling, "QB Sneak would have worked if Teddy hadn't eaten gas station sushi." Lesson learned. Witnesses say Darnell demanded the bartender drop a play on a napkin and then challenged a deer head-mounted on the wall to a best-of-3 Oklahoma drill. When asked if he'd like a ride home, he shouted, "Ridgebacks don't ride, we walk. Unless it's 3rd and long." He was found the next morning asleep on the practice field's 50-yard line, using the playbook as a pillow and a can of Vienna sausages as an alarm clock. He was reported to be ready for this week. Speaking of, let's look at the Ridgebacks game this week. This week, the Ridgebacks traveled to take on another in-state opponent in the North Carolina State WOLFPACK. The WOLFPACK are expected to have a huge crowd and a giant advantage over the Ridgebacks. Most experts say the game to be a blowout, but Mount Airy fans have faith in the blue and orange. Thank you all for tuning in to this week's broadcast of Ridgeback Football Weekly. I am your host, Mitch Slapnuts, signing off by saying, Go Ridgebacks! Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, welcome back to another Saturday in Week 1 of the college football season. The Mount Airy Ridgebacks are traveling for their second game of the season against the North Carolina State WOLFPACK, another in-state opponent. Last week they took a tough loss, 10-17 against the North Carolina Tar Heels, but this week they're hoping to bounce back and have a great game today. It will be a tough challenge, but they have hope and they have skill, so that's what's going to carry them today. The WOLFPACK will start the game by kicking off to the Ridgebacks, and this looks like a decent kick, and it is returnable. He will take it out. He gets jammed up by the 15 and then gets tackled at the 17. Ridgebacks get the ball first. First play of the game will be a run to Withers. He had a good game last week. Good run by Withers. Gets about 9 yards. They're handed off to Newman up the middle, who gets another first down. What a play for him to start off. First down and 10 following that good run by Newman. This team is really good at running the football. Hands it off to Withers and they get stuffed. Second down and 9 following the short gain by Withers. They're going to toss it back out to him. He's gotten 3 carries out of 4 plays. He gets some yards there. Third down and 4. Can the Ridgebacks pick up a first down? They're going to go speed option to the right side, and it goes absolutely nowhere. Fourth down and 10. Brooklyn guy out to punt for the Ridgebacks. He gets it off. It's a decent punt down inside the 20, but the Ridgebacks defense makes a good stop there. Ridgebacks defense coming out first. They had struggled last week on third down, and that was the big reason they lost to the Tar Heels, and they're going to start off rough this game. Allowing 6 yards on the first carry. Good run by North Carolina State. Looks like they're bringing in some pressure from the left side, and they will get about 3 yards. Third down and 2 following the short completion. Ridgebacks all down at the line. They're bringing heavy pressure, and the slant is caught for a first. First and 10 for the WOLFPACK. Let's see if they keep it through the air or go back to the ground game. They're going to go slants again. He has a man wide open, but he misses. Receiver got jammed up on that last play. He would have been open for a touchdown if he could have connected. They're going to throw a hit short, and it goes nowhere. Third down and 10. Another struggle for the Ridgebacks. Can they make a stop? They have good pressure. He just throws it up, and the receiver catches it. What a great play by the receiver. What a play by the receiver. DB was lost. He had no idea where the ball was. They're going to run a screen to the left side, but Otis Miller is there to make a great tackle. Second down, 16, following the great tackle by Otis Miller for the Ridgebacks. They're going to run another screen to the right side. He's going to get another tackle. Third down and 10. Ridgebacks need a stop for once this season. They struggled a lot last week. Like we said, they're going to leave a man wide open here. Another first down for the Wolfpack, and they get down inside the 5. That will end the first quarter. First play of the second quarter, and the Wolfpack are in goal line formation. They're going to most likely run the ball. They do. Running back bounces it out to the left, and that is a touchdown for North Carolina State to start the game. Their first drive ends in the end zone. What a drive by the North Carolina State Wolfpack. Kicker lines up for the extra point, and he's taking his sweet time to kick it, and he drills it right down the middle. 7-0, North Carolina State. They're kicking back off to Mount Airy to start the second quarter, and it's a fair catch by the Ridgebacks. Last drive was very lackluster for the Ridgebacks. They're going to go play action here and get a pass off early in the game for about 5 yards. Last week they only had 6 passing attempts, but they were very efficient through the air. What a run by Withers. He gets a hole through the middle. Can he outrun a man? He cannot, but what a run. What great blocking by the offensive line. Withers is definitely the main part of this offense, but it goes nowhere that time. Ridgebacks in the wishbone. They're going to go speed option to the right side. Voss pitches it. It's a bad pitch, and it is going to go out of bounds. Third down 17 following the mishaps on the speed option. Another pass play. Voss is going to step up. He was over the line, but they could throw the flag, but it was a good play. But it will most definitely be called back for throwing over the line of scrimmage. There it is. That will be accepted. It was actually declined. 4th down and 3. Ridgebacks throw it short to Withers, and that's a first down for the Ridgebacks. Following the 4th down conversion, they're going to hand it off to the right side. He's going to juke back inside and get about 4 yards. Second down, 6 following the run. They're going to hand it straight up to Newman. Up the middle, he's got a hole for a first down. Good job by Newman there to get the first down there in a heavy run formation. They're going to hand it right back to him for another gain of 5. Second and 5, they're going to pitch it to Newman to the left side. He is going to get the first down. Ridgebacks are keeping the ground and pound mentality this drive. Will they do it 3 yards out? Voss keeps it up the middle, and that will be a touchdown. Great blocking by the offensive line. Teddy Voss gets his first touchdown of the season, and they tie the game up 7-7 in the second quarter with less than 2 minutes to go. Jeffy lines up to kick the extra point, and he hits it right down the middle. Ridgebacks set to kick it off. The North Carolina State Wolfpack will have less than 2 minutes to go. This kick is going to be deep in the end zone and will be kneeled down. 1st and 10 for the Wolfpack. Last drive was a spectacular drive, converting on 3 third downs. Quarterback steps up and he gets taken down. 2nd down and 9 with a minute left. Will the Wolfpack push for a touchdown late in this half? They're going to go for a pass play slants, and that is broken up. 3rd down and 9. Ridgeback hoping to make one stop and get the ball back with less than a minute to go. Quarterback throws it short, but the receiver steps out of bounds. Big mistake by the receiver for the Wolfpack. They will line up to punt with about 50 seconds left, giving the Ridgebacks some chance to take the lead late in the first half, and that goes nowhere. Ridgebacks have 47 seconds. They are not efficient through the air, but let's see if they do something here. Voss rolls out right. He hits Magruder wide open on the corner route. Magruder is not very big. That's his first catch of the season. He stands at 5'5", 160 pounds. Ridgebacks going hurry up here. Let's see if they are really efficient in moving the ball down and see if they can get at least some points before the end of the half to take the lead. They would really appreciate it. They're going to motion Withers. They're going to pitch it to Newman. Not the best play, but he gets about 6 yards for him. Following the Ridgebacks timeout, they have 30 seconds. They are going to try to keep it through the air. Voss scrambles out right, throws it away. What a decision. 3rd down and 4. Ridgebacks going play action to the right side. He's going to hit Magruder short for his second catch of the drive. What a play by Teddy Voss to keep the drive alive. Ridgebacks using their second timeout. 1st and 10. They are going to play action again. Voss rolls out right. He tries to throw to Magruder again, but it's broken up. 2nd down, 10. 15 seconds left. Let's see if the Ridgebacks do anything through the air. They're going to run speed option to the left. Voss does not pitch it, though. Voss is most likely just going to have to chuck this one to the end zone with 10 seconds, no timeouts. 3rd down and 5. He keeps backing up, and he's going to chuck it deep to Darnell, and it goes nowhere. 4 seconds left. 4th and 5. Ridgebacks are lining up for a Hail Mary. They are going to chuck it up. Voss had plenty of time in the pocket, and that will be incomplete. No miracle today. The game will go into halftime 7-7, tied up. Ridgebacks playing pretty well this game. Ridgebacks will start the second half by kicking off to the Wolfpack. Jeffy with a great kick into the end zone, and that will be kneeled down. 1st and 10 for the Wolfpack. Let's see if they can keep a drive moving. 3rd drive of the game, and that gets stopped. 2nd down and 13. Not a great first play to start the drive for the Wolfpack. They're going to bring a man in motion. He's going to bring out to the left side. Quarterback throws it short to him, and that doesn't go anywhere, but there is a flag on the play, and it looks like it will be on Otis Miller on the defense for holding. Yes, that is what it is. That will cost the Ridgebacks deeply. 1st down and 10 after the penalty by the Ridgebacks. Another run play goes nowhere. 2nd down and 12. Wolfpack's run game has been shut down so far. They're going to throw a screen to the right side that goes nowhere. 3rd down and 12. Ridgebacks hoping to make a stop and get the ball back to their offense early in the second half. Quarterback has plenty of time in the pocket. He gets pressured and throws it away. 4th down and 12. Second punt of the game for North Carolina State. He is going to take the snap. He punts it deep. It's a great one. Let's see if the returner, he does not fair catch. He's going to take this out. Decent return for some yards. Great stop by the Ridgebacks defense. They are going to line up in the wishbone, hand it off to the right side, and that does nothing for the offense. 2nd down and 8. They are going to stay in the wishbone. They are going to hand it off to the right side again on an ISO, and it gets stuffed. 3rd down. Ridgebacks trying to avoid a 3-and-out. Voss takes the snap, and he gets sacked immediately. 4th down and 13. Second punt of the game for Brooklyn guy. He takes the snap, and this looks like it will be a decent one to the corner. Great punt inside the 20. They're going to return it for a gain of 5. 2 minutes left in the 3rd quarter. Wolfpack get a great stop on defense. What a spin move. He's going to stay up. Another spin move. Can he take it away? No, he gets tackled. He was spinning like a tornado going through Oklahoma. He's going to hand it off to him once again. Another good run for the running back. 7 yards there. 2nd down and 3. Let's see if they keep it on the ground. He is moving very efficiently. They do, but it goes nowhere this time. Ridgebacks holding to a 3rd down and 3. Can they make a stop and get the ball back to the offense? They are going to pass the ball and complete a short pass for a first. What a good decision by the quarterback there to just pick up the easy yards and get a 1st down. They have a man wide open down the seam. That is another touchdown for the North Carolina State Wolfpack. The Ridgebacks left him wide open, and they will go up 13-7 on the Ridgebacks. Kicker out to kick the extra point once again, and he kicks it right down the middle. Wolfpack kicking off following the touchdown. 15 seconds remaining in the 3rd quarter. This looks like it might be returnable. He takes it out. He gets some nice blocks and will be taken down at the 22. 11 seconds left, possibly the last play of the 3rd quarter. They hand it to Withers, and he gets 4 yards. First play of the 4th quarter. 2nd down and 6 for the Ridgebacks. They hand it to Newman for a short gain. 3rd down and 3. Ridgebacks really need a 1st down. The stadium pulse is going crazy. They hand it to Newman, and it's stuffed up. 4th down and 3. Ridgebacks going for it. They're going to run play action. Voss is going to step up. He has a hole up the middle. Dive forward for a 1st down. 1st down and 10. They're going to run a counter to the right side, and it goes nowhere. 2nd down 11 following the terrible run by the Ridgebacks. Let's see if they keep it on the ground or start to air it out. They're going to hand it up to Newman. He gets about 3. 3rd down 8 for the Ridgebacks. Voss is going to play action. He's going to roll out to the left and gets pressured immediately. 4th down and 8. Ridgebacks really need to get a 1st down here to keep a chance. And the Wolfpack smother him in the backfield for a sack. It will be a turnover on downs for the Ridgebacks. Great play by the Wolfpack defense to get the ball back to the offense, and they're going to run a screen to the left side, and he breaks a tackle. He might hit the end zone. No, they track him down at the 6. First and goal for the Wolfpack. Let's see if they try to throw the ball here. They're going to run it, and it gets closed up immediately. 2-minute warning. Second and goal for the Wolfpack. Ridgebacks really need a turnover or a stop of any sort. Wolfpack throws it. He has a man wide open in the end zone. Touchdown, North Carolina State. Wolfpack to go up, assuming they make the kick 21-7. Kicker lines up for the PAT. This is a big kick for him, and he nails it right down the middle. Wolfpack kicking off to the Ridgebacks with less than 2 minutes to go and up by 2 touchdowns, and this is going to be fair caught. First down and 10 for the Ridgebacks. They have to move the ball very efficiently. Voss steps back to pass. He throws it to Withers over the middle, and that is a first down. Let's see if they go hurry up. They do. There's a minute 52 left. The Ridgebacks are most likely going to have to pass, which they are not very good at. Voss gets under center. He's going to play action to the right side. He has all the time in the world in the backfield. He's going to chuck it up to the right side, and that is double covered and gets batted down. Second down and 10 for the Ridgebacks. Most likely going to have to keep it through the air here. They're actually going to run it to the right side. He gets a hold. That is not a very good play for the Ridgebacks. That is taking a lot of time. Third down and 6. They have to get a first down here to try to keep the ball moving. They're going to play action to the right. Voss gets sacked immediately once again. Fourth down and 10. Ridgebacks. He hits Withers wide open for a first down. Withers has been very efficient through the air and on the ground today. First down for the Ridgebacks. A minute left to play. Voss does not get under center immediately. He does now. They're going to run the same exact play, it looks like. He's going to toss it up to Benny Darnell, who makes a great adjustment. Touchdown. The big man himself makes a great play for his first touchdown of the season and make it a close game. 13-21. Jeffy makes it 14-21. 1 minute left. Ridgebacks deciding not to go for the onside and just going to kick it deep normally and hope that their defense can make a stop. And this is deep in the end zone and will be kneeled down. In a similar situation to last week, the Ridgebacks need a stop. They have 3 timeouts. The quarterback keeps it to the left side and he will get about 6 yards. Timeout by the Ridgebacks. 56 seconds. They need a stop here. Another quarterback keeper, and he is going to get stopped just short. 3rd and inches. Wolfpack are crowding the line, expecting a run right up the middle. And they are going to run a speed option to the left side, and that was an easy first down for the Wolfpack, and that will seal the deal. Ridgebacks take a tough loss. North Carolina State comes out in victory formation. This should be one kneel down, and there it is. That will win the game. The Mount Airy Ridgebacks fall to the North Carolina State Wolfpack, starting off 0-2 after losing back-to-back games by a touchdown to in-state opponents from the ACC Conference. They need to come up clutch in big games, and they have been unable to do so. To be fair, they just started their program after 68 years of being shut down. But next week, they will be taking on an FCS opponent for their first home game in 68 years, and hopefully we will see you then next week. Thank you all for tuning in, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.